Good evening. Deflation in Hong Kong is deepening as consumer prices fell in September for the 47th straight month and recorded the largest decrease this year. September's consumer price index dropped by a worse than expected 3.7% year-on-year, compared with 3.3% in August. Prices are falling fastest for food, mobile phone services, package tours, and private housing rentals. The government said despite the moderate decline in import prices, slack demand in the local economy had led to a steeper CPI decline. Stocks now, despite Wall Street's overnight rally, worries over technology stocks hit many Asian markets. The Nikkei tumbled 3%, while South Korea's bourse slid 2%. Hong Kong stocks did a little better, but still closed lower in quiet trade. Weakness in utility, energy, and telecom stocks pushed the Hang Seng Index down 21 points to close at 95.48. But the New World Group, which announced a restructuring yesterday, saw support for all of its subsidiaries. Flagship New World Development rose 1% to $4.375. But analysts are cautious about the real effects of the restructuring.
The New World Group restructuring will have a mixed impact on the subsidiaries and also on the group level. Right now, we see the Pacific ports will be losing a lot of steam because the company will become a very highly geared company and paying a large premium for the asset from New World Infrastructures, whereas New World Infrastructure will become a net cash company, which will be good for the future development. On the group level, I think the impact will be quite minimal because there hasn't been too much of asset change except the reshaping the structure. No new money coming in, so there's unlikely to improve the debt level.
Turnover was just $4.7 billion. Turning to the 10 most active shares today, PetroChina down 4 cents, China Mobile 30 cents lower, and HSBC gained 50 cents. Cathay Pacific shares have been under pressure since the announcement of an air agreement between Hong Kong and the U.S. Cathay said it was disappointed with the deal's unbalanced exchange in favor of U.S. carriers, but the airline changed its tone today. A company executive was more upbeat.
If we go into the details of the deal, I'm sure we could find things that would be better. But don't forget, we've been waiting for 6 years for the American Cathay code-share agreement to come through. So from our perspective, we're delighted.
China's producer prices narrowed their year-on-year decline to 1.4% in September from 1.7% in August. Producer prices measured price levels at the factory gate and are a key indicator of consumer trends. In Asian markets today, Taiwan fell 77 points, Singapore down 1, the Nikkei tumbled 289 points, and Australia was up 12. Seoul lost 13. Bangkok and KL both were up today, and Manila was 4 points higher. A recent survey found investors are more worried about corporate scandals than war with Iraq, and they're sidestepping the stock market. More from Reuters.
What do investors fear most? Is it the raft of boardroom scandals giving some corporate executives outlaw status? Or is it the fear of what would happen if the U.S. once again targets Iraq's Saddam Hussein? David Potok is the CEO of the discount brokerage firm Charles Schwab.
Individual investors are actually, from our survey, more worried about yet more stories of corporate corruption and Wall Street scandal than they are about war in Iraq, and I was amazed by that finding.
The fallout, along with the weak economy, has dealt a punishing blow to the brokerage business, and Charles Schwab has hardly been immune. Schwab shares have been on a steady drop, with the company hitting a 52-week high in January, trading above $18 a share, and is now struggling to stay above $9 a share. So what should Wall Street do to clean up its act?
We think that Wall Street firms should have to report on the quality of the advice and recommendations that they provide to investors. That would result in real competition.
Potrick also said brokerages should have to disclose how much they pay their brokers. Schwab has worked to distance itself from the scandals, reminding investors that its financial advisors do not work on commission like many Wall Street brokers. The outlook for Charles Schwab is still uncertain in the fourth quarter, and so far, there are no plans to increase capital spending, a key barometer for growth.
Well, our capital spending has been very low by historical standards. We've normally spent a lot more money on technology, on software, on office expansion, and things of that nature, and right now we're holding back.
And with corporate scandals still unfolding, it's still too early to say whether the recent upturn on Wall Street will have a positive impact on Schwab's bottom line. For Reuters, I'm Deborah Luderbeck.
Currency markets now, the U.S. dollar trading at 125 yen, the euro 97 U.S. cents, sterling 154. Hong dollar now, sterling 1205, Canadian 499, and the euro 761. The main news is next. Good night.